So I got the question, how is God real to you? And that's quite a big question, especially big because we can't see God with our own eyes. But for me as a Christian, that doesn't mean that I don't believe he's real. And there are a number of things that has convinced me that he is. So firstly, what I can see with my own eyes convinces me that God is real. The creation I see around me, whether that's in nature, whether that's in the objects that have been made by people, or whether that's in the people that I see as well. I believe that God has made all of them, either through natural means or by giving us the intelligence to create things. Now, I studied biology in secondary school in A-level, and I just remember just seeing the cell structures and DNA and thinking, wow, this is so complex and yet so perfectly put together. And I find it really convincing that someone made it, that someone with knowledge that is greater than ours and someone with that creative skill could put each of those things together. I actually find it more of a stretch of belief to believe that these things came about by chance or just by evolution. But I believe that someone set all those things in motion, used all the things in science that we see to create the world that we enjoy. The Bible says, the heavens declare the glory of God, the skies proclaim the works of his hands. And I think we can see a lot of who God is in what he's made. Secondly, I felt God's presence, and that helps me also to believe that he is real. It's just like when someone you care about walks into the room. You're still reading the book, you don't look up, but you know they are there. And that's what it feels like for me when God is with me. I don't feel that all the time, but I have felt his presence in lots of different ways. Sometimes walking in nature, sometimes when I'm in a group of friends, sometimes when I'm praying, and sometimes just on my own at the end of the day when I'm getting ready to sleep. And I find that really comforting. The Bible talks about this comfort and this peace, and I've definitely experienced that peace that passes all understanding. That's something that Jesus talks about as a gift he gives to his followers. And I experienced that in a time when I was having some really bad night terrors, and I found that part of the Bible, and I felt God's peace with me, helping me through, even though I couldn't understand it. And then thirdly, I've seen God help people and myself in my life. So my dad is a debt coach. He works for a company called Christians Against Poverty, and they help release people from debt. And they have open arms and explain who Jesus is as well. And people can choose to engage with that, or people can choose not to. That's absolutely fine either way. But through that and through the love that has been shown in that company, I've seen so many people's lives transformed, people freed from life-crippling debt, and people who've come to know Jesus for themselves and have just been so joyful to have met him. I've seen lives literally transformed. And in my own life, I've experienced God's help in so many different situations, all the way going through growing up and in every job I've worked in my time in the working world as well. So when I came to ICE, I had about 2-3 weeks to move here. I didn't have a house, I didn't have a place to go, I didn't have enough to start off. But God provided a place to stay for 3 months completely free of charge that I could go to and get on my feet before I settled in properly. And it's been lots of experiences like that for me that God has helped me through. So I can't point to God in one way and say, there he is, he's real. But I can point to God in the Bible and say, there he is, he's real and he keeps his promises. And so I would say the best way to find out if God is real is to ask him yourself and to read the Bible and see what you think. See what he says about himself and put him to the test. If he is real, if he is who he says he is, he will stand up to the challenge, as he has in my life and as he has in the lives of many Christians that I have known.